Let's have a big hand for Kim Nguyen.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Kim Nguyen. I'm Asian. I speak with an accent. I am a spiritual person. That's the external, right? I'm also royalty. That's why I sit down. I'm fearless. I'm a spiritual person, and my purpose in life is to bring about healing. I was born in Nguyen, Vietnam, 1962. I'm 50 years old. Very poor family. My mom has a 4th grade education. My dad had a 6th grade education, and to make a living, he has to be enrolled in the army. And he was like very low ranking, a private or something. His job in the army was to cut hair, that's all. So growing up, my memory of childhood, even though there's a war going, I mean, it's normal for me. My grandparents on my dad's side have a little mud hut. Every time when we visit them, they save a fruit on a tree, and each of them, our name were written, like it was named after us. So then when it ripe, they would pick that, and that's our pride and joy, because that's like we long to wait until that ripe. Their fence around the house, sugar cane. They grow their own vegetable, and the fishes around the pond, and it's such a simple, peaceful memory for me. Even though there's a civil war going on, I did not experience the effect of that war until when 1975. My dad were sent to the front line because of his ranking. So we were in the camp, the army barracks, living there. And that morning, he came home after a whole night walking without his uniform. He was like under his undershirt and underpants, because if they see uniform, they would shoot him. So that's when the communists were like taking over the south of Vietnam. April, that was like middle of April, 1975. So that's the beginning of my journey, my PTSD. We have to move out of that army barracks because they took over the whole, anything that had to do with the army. So part of the revolution is to go back to your hometown. So my mom's family were living in the fishing village near Vũng Tàu. So we said, okay, let's go back there and make our life, like invent our lives again. So that's when my dad decided to escape, to plan to escape. So what if he never planned that before? I would not be here. Because he was in the army, he had to go to the reforming school. It's like brainwashing all day, and then come home at night. But because he didn't have to go to prison because his ranking, he was not a high official, so they could not make a living. My mom had to like scrape and sell like fruits and things like that along the street. But we were happy, you know. I did not know extravagant. We're all living in just one room house. And there are different beds, and that's how we grew up. There are 5 of us. I have a twin sister and 3 younger brothers. We were with the communists for 8 months, and during that time my dad planned to escape. I was 13. That one afternoon of December 1975, they said, okay, let's go on the boat. We take a ride, along the Gulf. And then we went up. We saw some strange people on the boat, but that's normal, because we go on other people's boat all the time. So then when we went out for 10 minutes, they were shooting after us, and I did not know why. So they said, oh, just keep down. Don't worry about it. So then, when we were really, that was my first time ever went into out in the sea. Even though living in a fishing village, we went on boat ride before, but never out to the open sea. So then I realized that we were escaping. So first 3 days it was okay, and then there was a storm hit us. December, that was the stormy season. The engine was running, and the man had to go down, bail out water. When you got seasick, you throw up and you couldn't eat and stuff like that. We were skinny back then. But so then, all of us, because it's the rain, the storm, so we were in that one cabin on top of the engine room. It was about 15 or 20 foot boat. In the front, they have some storage for when they catch fish. They put it there with ice. But then there's some guy that went up there and opened up. They're full of ice, so we were prepared for water. But then they opened it up and then they closed it, so all the wave hit it, so all the ice melt too. But the rain, so we cut the rainwater. That was our drinking water. And the engine died on the 4th day. So we were floating. I remember that the waves were hills size, mountain size. The boat was like a leaf just floating. And gray sky. There's some big ship in the night, but when they see us, they were going the other way. We were they were flashing light, Morse code, SOS, but then that was December of 75, so there were not a whole lot of people know about refugees and escaping, about us. So then nobody think about rescuing this boat. So on the morning of that 5th day, December 21st, or the 4th day, my dad went out, tried to put the blanket up as a sail, and then the wave hit and he fell over. And someone screamed, so I was sitting in that cabin, and I looked out and I saw his head, just one wave and just push him away. They were trying to throw some rope, but there's no engine, so then they couldn't. And then he had on army boots and jacket because it was cold. So that was so then we were crying and my mom was fainting, and remember the chaos, and they tried to throw the anchor and they have to cut it because the boat would flip. So as Catholic, we just start praying, for my dad. And in my mind, I feel oh, he might be, some boat might be able to swim, catch something that, keep him afloat. So did not accept that he died. That night, my mom kind of wake us up and told us to say our contrition prayer to prepare to die. And that time in my mind, this is 14 years old reasoning. If God wanted us to die, he would not let my dad die first. we would die together as a family. And I knew that I would live. Doesn't matter, like we were in the middle of a storm, but I know that I would not die. So that faith had carried me throughout my life to today. So then we floated into Malaysia on Christmas Day, 1975. A family, an American family sponsored us, and 8 months after we were in California, Union City, California. What if that family decided not to sponsor us? We could have ended up anywhere in the world, like Canada, Australia. Some of the other families on the boat were went to France. So, I'm forever grateful for that family. We call them mom and dad. My mom called them mom and dad. They were having hundreds of Vietnamese children. Amazing couple. So they connected us with the church, the local church, and applied for welfare. So we were on welfare. My mom had to go to school, learning how to become a technician, support us. We have to learn a new language, dealing with that, but always have that depression. So then when I went to college, high school was okay. I'm always good at math, even though I'm right brain. So go through, never quite have that grieving process. There was always memorial mass during the anniversary of my dad's death, but never had that. So when I went to college, I painted myself like artist. So I painted myself in a coffin underground, and I was doing art therapy on myself. I did not know that. So during that time, I was thinking that, I will teach art, major in art education or something. And there was an art therapist came and gave the talk about art therapy. So I said, that might be interesting. So then, but I majored in, I graduated with a bachelor in fine art. Worked for a while, finding my ways. My sister went to Berkeley and she majored in math applied into computer. I mean, classic twins, right? Left brain, right brain. She's now working for Oracle. Have a bachelor degree and make more money, 4 times as much more than I do. But I love my job. So I went back to school, got a master in art therapy, and working for a while, and then came here to do a workshop with the Mercy Center. It's a Catholic facility for priests and nuns, and start a art therapy program there. And then worked for another company before working for Aspen Point 6 years ago. That's when I started. So about 3 years ago, my boss said, well, let's start your program on your own, so go out and expand it. So I took it and ran with it. So we partnered with the Fine Arts Center and start the program there for the Wounded Warriors. And that was a learning experience for me too. Even though I'm assertive, borderline blunt. So giving order is very easy. And soldiers will follow order, right? It's humbling for me that I'm able to use this field, this art, to. I did not believe it in myself that I could do that. So okay, come in and pick something. So give them a topic, they paint it. I said, okay, this is what it means. You are feeling this and this and this, your boundary a little blurry. So relationship. Like I'm telling fortune. Oh my God. And they believe me. Okay. So the more I do it, it's like, yeah, it makes sense. And then my story, and I know what PTSD is about. Like, I'm paranoid, okay? I don't want to sit like with anyone behind my back. There's certain traits that I'm driving, like always lock the door, things like that. So I totally get it with them. And then telling them that, oh, like, yeah, I saw people shooting and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, I know that. So then after the program at the Fine Arts Center started, Cottonwood, I have a friend that worked at the Vet Center, so we said, hey, maybe start another program with the VA. So the Cottonwood Arts Center for the Arts started, so we collaborate 3 ways. The Vet Center, Cottonwood Arts, and Aspen Point. So working with veterans, Vietnam veterans, Korean, and then later wars too. And so I introduced myself, like, I'm from Vietnam. So the Vietnam veterans like, I got PTSD from Vietnam and now I'm served by a Vietnamese therapist. And they got a kick out of it, oh my God. So for me, that's like come full circle. War is war. Damaging to me. Whatever reason, political, power, things like that. Someone get hurt, and to use what I was gifted. I mean, I know that a lot of times, like, I say things and I don't know what I'm saying. Seriously. I know that God gave me that gift, and using that channel to bring about healing. And that's my purpose in life. So we start talking and said, hey, let's start another program. So on Fort Carson, there's a group of the fallen soldiers' families. So then they said, let's go out there and do art therapy. And then that's like, oh my God, touched my heart. 5-year-old kid could not express the grief, but could draw it. And said, I'm mad at my dad for leaving me and telling the story. So I don't know, what I do like 20 years, 30 years from now, but I know that right now I'm here. I am experiencing every day and humbled by each of the soldiers' story, what they witness, what they go through, and I do get mad. Yeah, I mean, I look nice, but I do get mad. Our community and society at large, using the war and soldiers and their lives for their own agenda, and not knowing that the struggle every day, when the haunting memories, I do have those, but I had it, I dealt with that, I released it through the art. And to have the backing of my company, my boss, to support me and bring this healing, like, it's a process. It's not like, you experience this stress, this adrenaline, witnessing things that you were protected from media. No matter what you see in the movie, it's not like that over there. And then I come back and like got denied or said, we need your story when Veterans Day coming up, or things like that, and not supporting them day by day. I get mad. and I will do whatever it takes. Not go out and shoot people, but I do like shooting. But you know, like the human dignity and the gentleness of the soul got robbed because of that one instant that seeing your friend, your best friend blown up, and it's never the same. Like me seeing my dad, it's never the same. I still grieve for my dad. The sadness comes like not as often, but I still do. So if we can support our heroes, I call them my heroes, because the struggle they have to do every day, then it is that we are respecting ourselves, each individual, each of our life stories, no matter what culture, what families, what background we come from. I'm rambling, right? But I mean, like this is what I believe in. I mean, I want to bring about healing, and well, I do have. I told my boss I want to take over the world. A woman run the world would be different, right? Yeah.
Might be better.
Might be better, but it would be different. We'll do a lot of processing. And if I'm in charge, I will tell you what to process. So that's my story.